Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your messages for the 7th to the 13th. Let's get right into things. We have a lot of energy going on this week, huh? We got the new moon eclipse happening in Gemini in your second house. You also have Mercury retrograde in your second house. So what is your second house? Second house is not only money, right? That's a default that a lot of readers just kind of go to, but it's not only that. It's what you desire. It's what you value. It's your sense of innate wealth. It's really what you want for yourself, right? It's anything that you value, anything that you attach yourself to, anything that you possess or you hope to possess, right? This is second house stuff. Now, when we have a solar eclipse, typically in a particular house, that is about bringing something, culminating something out to the 3D, like a real tangible shift, a real tangible change. But the tricky part is, for this particular eclipse, is this Mercury retrograde in Gemini. You know, Mercury rules Gemini, so it really is this amped up level of confusing communication. There could even be some recklessness, some belligerence, some treacherous kind of communication, meaning just plain old dishonesty. Anything like that. So this could be very, very tricky. Yeah, I mean, we could deal with technology breakdowns, the basic nervous anxiety, travel delays, lost items, all that stuff. But really more pointed, I feel like, to this transit is really going to be this element of dishonesty, right? Only because of how Neptune is aspected, right? Because this eclipse is going to be squaring Neptune, and the Mercury retrograde is also going to be squaring Neptune. And Neptune is very confusing, very smoke and mirror energy. Neptune rules Pisces. It's the ruler of the 12th house of the hidden, of the house of self-sabotage, where we can get in our own way. And that's the thing, Neptune doesn't really allow us to see things very clearly. So when we have a square, that means tension. So there's going to be this tension between fogginess and this eclipse. This fogginess and already very confusing communication. Now, this Neptunian energy is going to be hanging out in your 11th house of goals and gains. Where do you see yourself going in your life? Your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, your 20-year plan. So when we have these energies between your 2nd and 11th house, Taurus, don't be surprised if you're just feeling like, I want to go, I want to bust out, I want to do, but I have no idea what that means. And right now you're not meant to, right? Because of this Mercury retrograde until the beginning of July. This Mercury retrograde until the beginning of July is going to create a lot of confusion. But after that, see, this the thing is, with this new moon, this eclipse energy, it's going to be really lasting about 6 months. So don't get too downtrodden, right? If you feel like, you know, this communication is all whacked and it's trippy and I can't understand anything and I don't feel decisive, right? If you're feeling any of those things, hold on. It's only going to last until around the beginning of July. Once Mercury comes out of that post shadow, things are going to look at least a little less crazy with the communication. Let's just say that. Now, a day dripping past this time period that I'm covering until the 13th. But on the 14th, we have the Saturn squaring Uranus, and it's really coming to a head on the 14th. And that's going to bring a lot of restrictive change, unexpected restrictions. It's going to be harder to make the kind of changes that you do want. It might end up bringing changes that you don't want. And this is going to be hitting you between your 10th house of career, public reputation, and standing in the world, as well as your first house of self, because Uranus is hanging out in your first house of self. So there are going to be a lot of shocking surprises, a lot of things that are going to be coming up that you're already feeling, okay? I don't feel like it's anything new, but this particular square with Saturn, this energy is going to be reaching a boiling point on the 14th, where there's some sort of big change that you're going to be feeling. Now, the best advice here, honestly, in all of this energy, couple things. Approach everything with caution and honesty, A. B, avoid being gullible right now. And C, say to yourself, this is temporary. This is not going to last. Whatever is happening, whatever is being eclipsed out of your life or into your life, it's very much meant to be exactly the way it's happening right now. So you just keep that in mind. So we'll pull in some oracles, and I'll pull a few tarot just for basic astrology messages right now, having to do with these eclipses and the squares and the squares and the squares and the retrograde. Okay, we have poise, nice, tick-tock. All right, change in the wind, yep. Interesting, several signs have been getting that. So let's pull all the cards and then we'll see what's clarifying what. And then I'll go into a relationship read and then a career read. I'll timestamp below. Could also find my June special down in the coupon code, 20% off my June special. All right, so as far as my readings go. All right, so it says be open to love. So this could be open to love literally in relationships, however you are resonating with this. But I feel like for a lot of you, this could just sort of be, actually, I'm going to just say a little more panoramic over your life. This is like a general, because when we're talking about second house, 11th house, guys, this is like, how do I feel about where I'm going? What do I believe in? What do I value? What am I doing? Kind of thing, right? Second house is the home of your house, home of Taurus, and you guys know that you're ruled by Venus. And 11th house is the home of Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus happens to be in your first house itself. So there's a lot of stuff coming up right now, Taurus, big sweeping changes, stuff that if I would have been saying this to you maybe even like 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, you'd be like, no. Where you feel like it's that different. A lot of changes. Hopefully you're open to the changes right now. You really don't want to push these changes out. So you want to be open to love, not only a relationship, if you're resonating with it like that, or a career that you love, a life that you love. Are you resonating with where you live? Are you resonating with your friends, right? Are you resonating with these things? Because also the 11th house, that's the house of our friendships and people that we choose to stay involved with. So don't be surprised if you're feeling kind of confused right now about your friendships. And it might not even be them. You might feel like you're just changing. But clarifying being open to love, we have the idea of healing, guys. Beautiful. So being open to something that's very authentic. No more fake nonsense relationships, right? No more being in something because you've been in it for a long time, or being into, and I'm not saying to end a relationship that you've been in for a long time that has a lot of value, just on a whim, you know what I mean? If you've been feeling for a long time that something isn't right, this may be time for you to say, you know what, it's time for me to approach this from a different direction. That friendship, that family situation, whatever it is. Beautiful energy to do it in. You're very poised to make the shift. You're very poised to make the shift. And we have the beautiful Knight of Pentacles here. This is about you being very smart with what you do with your time. I really like this as well. Now, also, for those of you dealing with the Knight of Pentacles energy, this is somebody who's very loyal and dependable, who has a lot to offer. But in the end, they might be either you might feel like there's a little something missing. Maybe they're a little boring. Maybe they're not very communicative. Maybe they're not into the same things as you, whatever it is, but they could be a rock for you. So it really does depend on where you're at in your life. You know, where they might lack the excitement, you feel like, to go the long haul, to capture your heart for the long haul. It could be a very satisfying energy in other ways. So again, it really does depend on where you're at. Now, that's for those of you who are meeting somebody new in this energy, because you're going to be in the space where it's like, what do I really want in relationship? What really matters to me in relationship? And you could be having this conversation regardless of how long you're involved with somebody. Now, if this is just a general energetic influence, this is about increasing prosperity and financial growth and a good investment regarding any business venture, or either by yourself or even with a partner, right? This is an increase in money or connection coming in, but you might have to work harder than you are right now in order for it to end up being stable and secure. But what I like is that whatever you're opening yourself up to, you're exercising integrity, first of all, which is great. And there's going to be some sort of healing component. Whatever you're going into is going to end up being very healing for you. Now, we have begin to explore, really do research, you know. If we're connecting this to any sort of career or any sort of lifestyle change, right? Again, because we're dealing with the second house, 11th house, these are, these big existential questions. What matters to you? Do you like where you live? And are you liking how you're running your life? Are you liking where, what you're doing? Are you happy with your choices? And if not, what do you have to go in and make changes? And some of you are going to be in a space of needing to let go of certain things. And that's never easy. That's never easy. Even if something has clearly reached its expiration date, it's not an easy thing to do. Now, that could be very grand for some of you as far as it needing to be maybe the letting go of an important relationship, or the choice to change careers and let go of something, or just letting go of that thing, that person, that situation. But it could also be maybe letting go of where you recognize you get in your own way, right? Because you're very aware of the time right now. The clock is ticking. You're aware that it's moving forward, not backwards. And you're really wanting to make some very decisive choices in order to move your life forward in a way where you're exercising a great amount of, I guess, your own personal truth is really what I want to say. And I like the Page of Pentacles. Some of you are going to be starting a new job. Some of you get some sort of new offer coming in. But this is about progress and an auspicious beginning regarding whether it's money, a business, some sort of offer made. Those of you looking to sell a home, you might have an offer made on property. Some of you might be finding out that you've gotten accepted into some sort of educational program. Some of you may be meeting a brand new relationship. Do pay attention to your finances in this energy. But just in general, this is a very beautiful, this is really good for money, but this is also about your talent shining through. And if you are meeting somebody in a new relationship, this is about somebody seeing the real you, like seriously seeing through to the real you and just loving what they see. Very, very healthy. So we have this become a clear channel. Become a clear channel, meaning don't allow anything to get in the way. Try to stay open no matter what, however painful something is, no matter how confused you are. Stay open, stay open, stay open. Clarifying, become a clear channel. We have help from above. You probably have someone, Taurus, I'm getting a very strong feeling. Many of you have this energetic help and feeling, oh my God. I'm a Taurus moon, so I get a lot of messages in my body. So I could tell the different components where I get my messages. And when my shoulders get cold and tingly, these are messages from the other side. So I feel like someone who's resonating with this, you have a loved one who's passed, who really has your back on the other side, which is beautiful because they're sort of helping you, nudge you in a beautiful direction to make a change that's necessary, change in the wind. And look at this beautiful. Will you look at what's clarifying and changing the wind? Fabulous Ace of Swords. Beautiful. Very auspicious. For all areas of your life, this is new beginnings, decisions, clear thinking, in all areas, in work and love, any other area of life. Immediate change to your circumstances for the better because you're going to be very mentally agile. You're going to be open. This is an energy of assertiveness. Well, hopefully. Assertiveness is the way to go, not aggressiveness, two different things. But I like this. And this is about getting over any sort of past obstacles and getting what you want. So any past obstacles in a relationship, getting over past obstacles when it comes to challenges that you had in your career, the workplace, the family situation, whatever it is. But it's almost like the change is coming from within you. You can't mitigate somebody else's nonsense, right? So it is this energy that's very supportive of you recognizing if you're in a situation where someone refuses to change, you have a lot of support to make the changes for yourself because you can't fix them. And for a lot of you, you're going to see that as you make the change, that other person is going to be perking straight up and saying, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I need to look at myself a little differently. Others of you, some people are just never going to open their eyes, but you're going to have the support to move yourself away from that and end up in a better space. So I really like this particular spread for you, Taurus. I think it's very positive. Not saying it's not going to be confusing. It's going to be confusing to everyone who is very awake and aware of their spirituality, people who are doing the work. And I really do think pretty much everybody who watches my channel is in that space. Really good stuff on the other side of it. You're supposed to be feeling confused right now. Because the thing is, if you think you know something 100%, you have to know that there is information that you most likely are not privy to at this point. Or the chances are also really high that there is somebody or something in your life that's not being presented as 100% truth. That's the only thing. Speak up. We're going into relationship now. Speak up. Express your joy. Keep your commitments. Let me just pull these. Speak up, express your joy, keep your commitments. Be true to yourself, Taurus, you know? Say what matters to you. Say what matters to you. Unleash your creativity, sadness. Have faith. I feel like just very transitioning kind of energy here, to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of you are really getting in touch with what matters to you in relationship, from connection, intimacy, finances, who shows up how, what matters to whom. You know, and that's always a very Venusian thing too, right? Venus is that beautiful trifecta of love, of money, and how are we feeling in this? Is everybody showing up in a very equitable way? And if not, it's time to look at that. And what does that even mean for you? All right, so let's pull one more down here. So we have the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Wands, we have two nines. Yeah. So very focused on being happy. First card out. So I like to look at the corners when I do this kind of read. So we have wish fulfillment. You're defending yourself. Some sort of obstacle. You might be having a challenging moment right now in relationship. Maybe you're having a hard time meeting somebody. Maybe you're in a relationship and something's challenging where you feel like you need to kind of fight for the relationship temporarily. We have the Chariot, very focused on getting away from anything that's toxic. Some sort of situation in the relationship is expedited, right? So we have to look at the energy surrounding it, and we see that there are good cards around it, which is good. So this means that we're going to be moving away from the negative towards the positive, which is always really good. Very quick change energy here. We have the Two of Cups, really good conversation going on here, mutually supportive energy. Those of you who are single, this is meeting somebody new. Those of you who are, some sort of positive proposal coming in here. So this could be somebody asking you out, somebody asking you to get married, somebody asking you to have a baby, move in, get married, something like that. But if things are difficult now, this is about harmony returning. Right, so let's deal with these outside cards first. Yeah, so I mean, there was this time though, that you're going through. There's this time that you're going through right now where there's this assessing, right? Whenever we have the Judgment energy, this is always about assessment, right? Assessment and letting go of the past and making a decision about a past, and it really is about waking up spiritually regarding relationship. And so the love is assessed, and then it's shifted into a new phase. So there might be a need for some of you to reconcile within a situation. Others of you, you're not reconciling with the relationship, but rather you're reconciling situations that happen within relationship in the past, which you can do without that person. Or you can be in this space where you're understanding now, and you're allowing yourself to go there and allowing yourself to reflect on the experience that you had in a relationship. And number one, you're forgiving yourself, saying, look, I did the best I knew how in the moment. I worked with all the tools in my toolbox. I know that they did too. Maybe we made mistakes, but it is what it is. It's done. There's no sense to holding on to it, right? So it's that kind of energy. Now, for some of you, you're going to be getting back together with somebody. For others of you, you're going to be reconciling something that happened in the past. And some of you are going to be having a couple of things happen at once. You might be reconciling that past within yourself, but you almost may be feeling sort of energetically drawn to an old relationship if you decide that it's worth it. If you do. If not, you're just in this space of absolute healing. But you're very much recognizing what feels good, what doesn't feel good in relationship. Now, for those of you who are in relationship right now, okay, as I did mention, right, we have the Chariot moving away from the toxicity. We have this good relationship energy here, wishes manifesting, fighting for something. But this Judgment energy will be like, look, whatever happened in the past happened. Let's move forward. But let's move forward with a cleaner slate and a better set of rules. and open and honest conversation about what really matters to everybody, right? What really matters, because something was not feeling good. I mean, the Eight of Swords is about feeling trapped and thinking things are never going to get better, and that can create a lot of challenges, right, in dealing with the situation, because it's the kind of thing where I almost feel like a lot of you have reached this point where it's like you don't want to let go of a relationship and you don't want to not be in a relationship, but it's like the relationship that you're in or just being in a relationship is just so highly uncomfortable for you right now. And it's that sort of like, okay, we reached the peak now. What are we going to do? Either we're going to change how things are, or we're going to need to release. There's something that's got to go. Because I do see that you've been feeling a lot of disillusionment, a lot of disappointment in the area of relationship, but more than anything, confusion and disappointment, right? Not really trusting that the relationship is going to work for the long term. And then that ends up pushing you in the direction of making a decision about the relationship. You know, it's this crisis of faith kind of energy. But you having to be really honest about it. Because even though you had this crisis of faith, you still have fire in your belly, right? You've been through a lot. You're very tired. You're still in a strong position, though. You're very tired. But you're going to have the perseverance to see it through. And this is very temporary. You're going to be feeling very defensive, likely, right now. But just be careful that that energy doesn't keep you in a negative mindset. Because this is a good card. Your efforts are going to be met with success. But you have to maintain balance and a very careful approach. You want to make sure that you don't act too over the top. And I'm not suggesting that's typically not a Taurian thing to do, but I don't know you and I don't know what else is aspecting your chart. So you might be a Taurus sun, but I don't know, you might be, I don't know, Scorpio rising or something like that, where there are going to be different energies aspecting you. But the key point here is to try your very best not to make any big sweeping decisions. Try to maintain that balance, but you very focus on just scooting away from the toxicity. You like, it's almost, Taurus, I'm getting this feeling like you literally can't take it anymore. It's so, for some of you, ridiculous at this point. For others of you, exhausting. For others of you, you feel it's like emotionally damaging. It might even be several of those things all at once. But there's this need to detach. There's this need for some time apart, at least taking a break from a relationship, to allow some space to do a little bit of internal work. But I feel like for those of you who are resonating with this, there's this conversation that's going to be coming in. Six of Wands is just that. It's good news coming in, feelings being shared. When I say good news, I mean somebody reaching out with very good intention in their heart, right? And there being this exchange of feelings and this exchange of desires and just what you want, and it being well received. Very positive communication coming in. And it leads to a deepening of the connection. But it's through these two working together here, I feel like. We have the Knight of Cups, which is a proposal. Somebody coming in and offering something within an existing relationship. For those of you in that space. Others of you, you may be meeting somebody brand new. Just be careful. This is good energy. I'm not saying they're not, but I can't ignore this Mercury retrograde and Neptune and the fact that the Knight of Cups anyway, even when energies are ideal, can easily get stuck behind this idea of, yeah, I want the same thing as you want. Yes, I want to be in this relationship. Yes, perfect, right? You just want to make sure that the person walks their talk. It's not that there's necessarily any malice involved. It might simply be that somebody is very vulnerable and insecure, and they very much want something to work. So they might be promising you a rose garden, you know what I mean, right now, and then you're like, oh crap, it's just a bunch of thorns, right? But you won't see that until next month. So just be careful with anything that's promised, anything that's too good to be true. Just say, oh honey, that sounds fabulous, and just take it with a grain of salt, and then check in like the second week of July and see if everything looks the same. As we do have the beautiful Ace of Pentacles here. Nice earth sign energy. I like this for a relationship. Remember, this is not only about money. This is about mental, physical, and emotional connection. And ace means brand new. So excellent for those of you meeting somebody new. It's just really good for happiness and contentment and getting what you want. So if you're not meeting somebody new, where you guys are at in your relationship, figuring out in a very healthy way how to bring your relationship to, again, a healthier space. Not to say the same word over again, but it really is about that. It really is about that. And healing from something. So there's healing that's very available here if you want it. If you want it. If you don't want it, then you don't have to go for it, Taurus. Because I feel, I could just sense there's a lot of disappointment that's going on here. So it's totally up to your individual situation and whatever else is going on in your chart, whether you feel like this is something that you want to continue either trying to make work, or if you feel very ready and open to actually engage in relationship at this point. You know, just remember, for those of you who are somebody new, just don't run off to Vegas and get married yet. Wait until Mercury comes out of the post shadow, all right? So just wait until July. Okay. No Vegas until July. Okay. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to use these. All right. So let's get for career. A couple for career. Rejuvenate. Pull one of each. Rejuvenate. Time to get some spice back into your money jam. The bulls have to spice it up with whatever you're doing for career, or something needs revisiting, maybe even mending. Yeah. Temptation. Okay. So you might be very tempted to do something having to do with money or career right now. Career situation. You need some healing. It's time for you to move on. It's time for you to either start doing something new altogether, add something to the repertoire of what you're doing now, change direction, change strategy, just change the way you are doing something here. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, so, okay, cool. We have the Fool, we have Page of Wands, Eight of Swords, High Priestess. Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about going in a very different direction. You're very tempted to start something very new, something very passionate, something very creative, right? We have the Fool. This is Uranus energy. This is just going in a new path, on a new path, a new opportunity, a new approach to your career or position, some sort of new enterprise. We have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is all about really expressing yourself. I mean, I like this. Now, something new may come in. Very busy time having to do with work. This brings in a new offer, even though the status or the glitz and glam of the job might not be as great as you would like or expect. It may still appeal to you in theory. Just, again, always make sure you read the fine print before signing or agreeing to anything, especially when Mercury is in retrograde. But you're just feeling like you kind of don't belong in something anymore, right? You don't feel like you belong in a situation anymore, and you need to figure out how to pull yourself out of it, even if it means swallowing your pride. Something just doesn't feel right to you, and you're feeling anxious because you feel very trapped, so sort of in like the cyclical thing. So we have the High Priestess clarifying that, which is about you needing to be patient. Success is coming, but something needs some time to mature and nurture and be cultivated. So I like this because you're doing it for your security, right? Very Taurian thing to do. Gemini and Cancer energy and astrology, this is very much about you having a very honest conversation with yourself about what it is that you want in your life, what you feel, what you recognize, what you need to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. And honestly, Taurus, with all of these energies, the eclipse happening, the Mercury retrograde in your second house, and these things squaring this Neptune energy, there's going to be a lot of fog, a lot of lack of clarity, but this very almost palatable experience where you're feeling the need to really make a change. Yeah, look, we get the 10 of Wands, overwhelm, responsibilities and burdens. Something's just become too much and you're just not feeling very satisfied in it anymore. So we have a new opportunity here. This is great. So this is about you getting what it is that you want and it coming to you rather quickly, or at least you're shown how to achieve what it is that you want and ultimately end up with that foundation of stability. So any good luck, coming in at this point, don't doubt it. You deserve it. Energetically, you've been paying your dues. You just have been. So we have the beautiful strength energy here as well. Very nice Leo energy. You're going to be doing something creative. Now, any tensions that you've been feeling regarding either at work or regarding any sort of financial situation or anything like that is probably due to somebody's ego. If you're dealing with other people, or you might even be getting in your own way where you might be feeling a little scared. You might be feeling a little scared to kind of, weak and having this challenge and actually having the gumption to move forward full throttle on something. But I don't see that remaining an issue. The strength energy is doing something scared anyway and really tapping into your creativity. So it's really nice. The 8 of Cups is sadness but no regret. Leaving a situation, Saturn and Pisces, right? It's having the emotional intelligence to recognize that something doesn't feel right anymore and you have to move on. A lot of you may have sort of done that already, like on a certain level, checked out of a situation already, emotionally, right? Yeah, so, and then we have the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands is just a really good energy. It's about deserved success. It's a great energy if you've been struggling, you getting acknowledgement at work. Any aspect of your life, really, this is good, but particularly having to do with any sort of work decision, a decision to launch something, maybe a decision to actually go back for a particular type of additional training in a particular area, anything like that. So it's almost like we have this changing of the guard energy. I don't have that you're completely leaving what it is that you're doing, but I don't have you completely entrenched in something brand new yet. You're doing the changing because we have this fabulous new, and then what do we have after that? Look at that. We have the 9 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords is anxiety and overwhelm and not responding to the external stress of something. It's almost like you're being pushed to the point of needing to absolutely have to make this decision to go on this other path. The 2 of Wands, great energy here as well. Great opportunities are on the way, allowing you to rise, right, in your life, having to do with either career or money. And this is about making plans, moving forward, you gaining influence in work regarding your particular approach to something. But there are 2 aspects to a situation. You have to figure out which is the right thing for you, which best maximizes your skill set, which is going to bring you what you need, all the normal pragmatic things that we would be considering. But that's what I see happening for you this particular week. Definitely trying something new. But High Priestess with the 8 of Cups, it's like you're leaving something, but you might not even be talking that much about it. Maybe doing a lot of research right now. Lots of research. Lots of research. Yeah. We have the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. You're feeling a lot of anxiety and just not right because you feel like it's time for you to switch. You're just ready to be very successful. You're very ready to start something new. And if it's not something brand new, it's definitely a new approach, a new strategy, something new. It doesn't mean it's going to happen like that, guys. The energy that's popping this week is going to be rolling out for 6 months. So you're going to know if you're vibing with it. If these aren't your messages, don't try to make them fit. If they don't, make sure you check your sun sign, rising sign, and Venus sign. Well, sun, rising, moon, and Venus, all 4 of those at least. Yeah, and for sure, listen also, if you happen to know your chart, and because the energies are hitting, right, this 2nd house, 11th house, see what energies you have on there and watch those signs as well. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. You guys have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.